guys and welcome back. Number 2. We've got as far as episode 2 in something that's not a series. So slightly different environment today. Travelled over to ULTRAFLEX Derby, which is a 2.5 hour drive from me, so a long way. Come over to see Big Nathan Grant and just check out the new facility as well. So far, very impressive. Me and Joe just had a walk through there. I don't think I've ever seen a gym with so much diverse kit in it, to be fair. We've got back and biceps today. As always with a different gym, personally I prefer to go and try things I've not done before, or try machines, new machines, see how they feel. I'm not the kind of guy to go to a gym and do my exact session, if that makes sense. We're still going to have so many pull downs, so many upper back rows and stuff like that, but we've just been trying to pick out which is the best. So for me today, ideally I want to start with a pull down, whether that be dual or single arm. So we've chosen Atlantis, and then we're going to go on to a single arm row, which we'll probably do the Gym Leco row there. And then from there, it's a case of just wandering and just seeing what's going to be available, what feels the best, just attacking each exercise there. So we'll crack on through the session. We'll stop throughout the session and have a little chat about some things, and we'll crack on. What I'm looking for here is something I can get fully stretched and keep it on the lat, and be able to get my elbow as tight towards my pocket, if you like, as possible. I do like to start with the dual exercise if I can help it, so 2 hands. It just allows me to get more blood into the back, I find, rather than doing single arm. Do that. So same principle, 4 sets, 2 sets of 20, and then 2 sets of 10 to 15. It'd probably be 15-ish. I won't go that heavy on this machine to start with. We want to be able to keep everything on the back rather than just pulling and swinging. Nice. Huh? 4. Oh, 3 left. Nice that though, isn't it? You don't mind me to No, mate. I'm high volume, I'm alright. I'll go do something else. So with this, I say controversial, but it's not controversial really. When I'm using a pull down like this, or the hoist pull down, what I found is when I jam my knees in and I really support my lower to be able to pull more load, it's almost like I'm too tight through my posterior, and I'll lose anything to my back. And what I'm doing is I'm just pulling through my upper back. So I take the pad out of the equation, and then it's just typically just body weight. So I can only lift so much without lifting off the seat, but I just find it hits my back probably about 80% more than it would do if I was just doing it with my knees jammed into the pad. So that's something I've been doing recently, which really helps. Give it a try, but again, I say the loading can't be too heavy with that because it'll just pick you up off the seat. One more. Yep. Keep dragging. Drag it through. Yes, that's it, dragging. Good. That's the one. I very rarely train to failure at the minute. I got to failure properly. I'll train on my own maybe like twice in a session, 3 times maybe. Yeah. That's it. I think once you've been training for so long, you know where you need to go. Yeah. I know when a set's.
Dave, follow and all.
Yeah. Let's say you train to failure twice in a set. What are you doing? What are you doing after that? You've done everything you do, surely.
Done it, haven't you?
Yeah. I don't know about this. Nah. So just having a feel on that. It's not going to work for me, that, mechanically anyway. Might do some people. Maybe you've got shorter arms potentially. So we'll just do the hammer strength row. Single arm there. Very similar. In fact, pretty much identical, but I know that one's pretty good. So we'll jump on that. That's better. So first couple of exercises, I don't think I've already mentioned it. Just trying to light the lats up. Like I said, I like to use double arm first, or dual arm, because it gets more blood in the back. Granted, nerve duct in there, so I've not got as much blood in the back as I normally would, obviously because my rest times between the sets were a little bit longer. So I went a little bit heavier than I normally would, just to try and make it a bit harder really. But I've got some blood in the back, and now single arm is just going to really nail the lat. Then we'll go into something a little bit more like a row, so we're going to a bit more overall back. And then potentially, we've still got an upper back row to do. We might do two variations of rows, depending on what the machinery says in here, depending if we can find one more exercise there. 5 exercises for back today, so this is number 2. But first and foremost, there's 2 things I want to do, both machines that nail my lat. First out off the blocks. Same as always, just gradually getting heavier each set. We'll go 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate on this. Looking for no less than 10 reps on the last set. So 20, 20, 15, 15 to 20, and then 10 to 15. Another reason for me to keep doing straight sets while I'm just in the recovery phase. My recovery is not as good, so me doing loads of, or a good amount of volume plus intensifier is futile really. So making sure I'm doing everything I need to do to keep the muscle I've got without killing myself or making my recovery suboptimal for the next session. I said to Joe at the beginning, I trained back on Saturday, it's Monday. I was still a little bit sore yesterday, so I'm only just recovering from the work I'm doing. But my other back session does have a pull in it, a hip in, sorry. It's a little bit harder to recover from than just what I call gear back. So, an easy back session. That's lovely. So again with this, what I'm trying to do, when you're in a row like this, it's really easy just to get a really hard contraction on your lat, and then you're here, then contracting. It's almost like doing a bicep curl like this, keeping the contraction but actually not getting the length in. So what I'm thinking in my mind is as I'm here, I'm not necessarily pulling from here, it's coming off my spine. So I'm thinking about my lat coming off my spine and then driving around with that, not just this, thinking about fully stretching. I was thinking about my back going like this as I'm doing it. But actually, in fact, think of one of the anatomy charts where your lat's coming off, and I'm just thinking that's my lat, my full lat coming away and contracting. And that, for me, that's been a game changer on lat work. Right, ULTRAFLEX derby. We need some signs for people to stop leaving weights on the machines. That's twice in 5 minutes. Don't make me start telling people. That felt nice. The thing about this machine is you can drag it, but you can throw it as well and it gets lighter in the shot, but if you drag it, it's light enough to be able to keep it on all the way through where it doesn't drop off until you're at the very end of the contraction. Saying to Joe, when you come to a new gym, it's always difficult to get a good session in, I find. Just you don't have the flow. Sometimes different machines that you pick don't quite hit the same spot, but I think it's important not to rush it. Take my time today, make sure the exercise and the sets I do are quality. And so far, so good. So we need a row, like a mid-back row potentially a cable row, a close grip cable row. T-bar row as well, so we can hit upper back with T-bar row. There's an upper back row there as well, which I like. I'm gonna do a close grip row, cable row. I know that's an exercise that'll nail me.
Come to a gym with all equipment in the world and go on a cable.
I know. I used to go mentally mothering about that. You know, using cables. Like, there's a full gym and everyone's on this cable stack. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great machines in here, but at the same time, I'm here to train my back, and I know that that's gonna be a sure bet. And I actually haven't done one in a while. Yeah, that should be good enough. I feel like I said a little bit close, but I feel like once I get going with it, that might be okay. And when I say it's a little bit close, it means that I'm almost having to round here, and I can't stay in this position and get my elbows far enough back without it sort of like pushing my lats out. So that I can potentially do this. Whereas if I'm here, I can just row. Whereas if I'm here, I'm almost trying to get around. A couple of potentiation sets there. So what I'll probably do now, what I will do now, is I'm looking at a 15 to a 20. But again, I don't want to pull so hard here and squeeze here that I'm missing this. which is really easy to do with pull. So I want to make sure that I'm slow out of here, then drag. So I'm going to die really quick, but it's going to be on my lat all the time. It's like doing a dumbbell raise like that, or like that. The difference is massive. So we'll see how we get on with this. Hopefully it feels quite nice when I'm in it. That felt good. Going any heavier than that is just not going to do anything. Not for me at the minute. My back is quite not tired, but as I get to here, I don't have the, well, my lats are tired to pull it in. So then what I'm doing is I'll be flinging it, just bringing in upper back, which then completely wipes out the point of this exercise. So I'll drop the weight a little bit there, and then I'll do a 5 by 5. So 5 reps, 10 seconds rest. 5 reps, 10 seconds rest. So I'll do that till 25 reps. But that means that every single set of 5, you can allow it to be perfect, rather than trying to get from 1 to 20 and just getting there by any means. Mini sets, perfect reps, everything on muscle, nothing being chucked or anything like that. The last one might be a little bit messy, but you're all done by that point. Right, so we've done the row. Now a machine mid to upper back row, something ideally overhand. I mean, potentially a T-bar row here actually. But like I said, I want something like overhand, where I don't have to pull it too high, but I can still be like mid. Like usually I'd probably do like a T-bar in this position now, but there's a couple of people on there anyway. So we'll do this, then maybe even use the T-bar as the upper back row after. I prefer to do my upper back work, mid to upper back work, overhand if I can help it, just personal preference. I seem to be able to engage a lot better, rather than sometimes this can just still be quite upper back. Oh look, somebody's left the plates on for us. I know who it is, where are they? Yeah, that'll be nice, that'll be perfect in fact actually. It'd be actually really nice upper back row this if you just drop the seat a bit. Like when you're doing an upper back row, the way that I think of doing it is, a lot of times when you're training back, you're always thinking about keeping everything down. Whereas an upper back row, you just let your elbows go where they want. Just pull, don't think about it. It's the only time that you can allow it to go into your traps and upper back. So really looking to get it in the stretch here. Just a slight pause in the stretch, really open everything up. 4 sets again. Again, because this is the lighter back, well not lighter, but the no lower loading back there. Volume's a little bit higher. We're also waiting for Grant and Nafes. We'll do some posing after. So trying to slow my session down to match them. They're push-pull leg guys, so one of their exercises is my session. So obviously when we do these YouTubes, like Joe makes reels out of some of the stuff I say and sends them to me. So he sends me 5 to 10 reels sometimes at a time, and I just never post them on Instagram. So now he's saying, I'm only going to send you 2 or 3 reels, and until you send them, I ain't going to send the rest. So he's bribing me. Loads of yeah, in a good way. He's looking out for my better interests. He just wants to charge me more money. Right, okay. Yeah, so I didn't actually touch on when I'm exactly sat in prep last video, did I? Prep starts on Monday. So today is Monday the 12th, so Monday the 19th. I think we're going to be looking at around Toronto for the first show. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do Indie Pro in Orlando, back to back 2 weeks after. After Toronto, potentially maybe Germany. Trying to avoid European shows. Like the feedback I got last year was like, you're going to be better off in America. Classic physique to me is classic physique. But apparently just let the lineups suit me better, which actually shows from my placing in Ireland to my placing in America. And arguably the show in America was a lot more heavily stacked than the show in Ireland. Even though the changes this year won't be substantial, the way I show up on stage will be. I think there was 3 guys who finished top 10 in the New York Point Pittsburgh Pro, who were well outside the top 10 in Albuquerque last year. So I know that I could be there or thereabouts, and I'm not going to be shy in saying my goal this year is to be first call out. For me to say that is a little bit shit for me, because I do everything to win, always. I always have done. I've competed at a high level in everything I've done, and I've never gone in anywhere not to win. But just looking at the level last year of the guys who were winning, older guys, grainy, dense muscle. I still do need a little bit more muscle on my frame, probably, or just a bit more time as well. So top call out this year, top 3 next time, top 2 win, and Olympia. So in the next 3 or 4 years is the goal. Well, that's what'll happen. That's why I hate body, that's why I hate it. It's hard to come across without sounding like bitter. I started bodybuilding long before social media, and I just do it for me. If it was like in an I Am Legend situation, and there was just me left on the planet, I'd still do everything I do today. I actually would. I'd probably just live in a bigger house. So I do struggle to show what I do, because I don't do it for, like, to me what I do every day is like the most normal thing in the world. I understand to some people it's not. And actually, I was listening to one of my friends really on the story, and he was saying he visited a couple of pros, and he couldn't understand, he was like taken aback by how they conducted themselves. Like, if you want to get anywhere in bodybuilding, genetics or not, you need to conduct yourself like you're an IFBB pro every day. You get up, you do your cardio, you have your supplements or whatever, and your day is structured every single day. But a lot of bodybuilders are good entrepreneurs because there's a lot of discipline involved. And you can't just turn discipline on for a couple of months and then turn it off. Regardless if you feel like it or not, you do it every day. Because number one, you love it, it makes it easier. I just sort of find it strange that somebody who was already competing as a reasonably high level amateur was shocked that they ate the meal plan every day, regardless of off-season or not. So everything's 100%. Even if on the outside it doesn't really look like it. Some people may see me and think, oh, he just turns up and trains, goes off. Every single minute of my day is dictated by bodybuilding. What time I get up, when I drink, what I eat, how many steps I do in a day, who I visit, where I go, everything. And it'll always be the case until I stop until I stop bodybuilding. So if you do want to get to the upper echelons of bodybuilding, or just an amateur or a pro, you need to be doing the things ideally that you think of people out together. That's back done 5 exercises, 2 light exercises, or 3 light exercises really there. Two rows, upper back row, and a high row, and then we moved on to just doing a little bit of upper back stuff with more stretching. And then obviously onto biceps now, 2 exercises, 4 sets each. I'll always say to my clients, when we're doing bicep work, use the machines that you feel best. It's okay me putting you in this machine, but if you don't like it and it doesn't feel good, pointless. So again, we'll sort of work out which is the best machine, sort of if it's a dumbbell, if it's a bar or anything where it feels good. Taxes bicep, we're not getting shoulder, we're not getting, scapula from holding it up, and then we'll run with that. So I've used this machine before. I believe it's pretty good. There's a good array of bicep machines in here as well, so I'll probably do 2 lots of single arm today rather than a dual, and then we'll do a little bit of posing. I think Nathan and Grant are about finished in 10 minutes, so we should finish about right. Instead of 2 exercises, I'm going to do 3 bicep exercises here, just so I can use the kit. After 2 sets of that, because it's a new exercise, my biceps are just torn to pieces already. So for me to do 2 more sets on that, I'm not really going to get much out of that, so I'm going to pick this machine and then the high bicep curl machine as well, and just go through them to get different angles. I thought I'd been on this machine before, but I don't think I have. It's fucking hell. It's very good. For somebody like me who struggles with mobility, so my mobility of turning my hand over is that. Like, unless I do this, like, that's it. So if I'm bicep curling, I'm always curling wrist out. If I do it straight wristed like this with a bar, it's putting too much pressure on my shoulder from where I'm tight. And I can feel that just switch my front delt on. So everything goes through here and not here. But in this, because I'm laid back and this is forcing me open, I'm not here. I'm almost, it feels like I'm not in the movement apart from just my arm, which is like strange to say, but it's fucking very good. That's on. Start to finish. Fucking hell, yes. Have a go on that, Joe. That's going to take some beating for an arm movement. Change your plan. It's pointless me using any other bicep machine because this is the best of my biceps. And then I didn't do well, quite a successful trip out actually. I still don't feel like I've got my usual pump sort of feeling of training at home, which you don't. And the session's been much longer. I would have maybe been done half an hour ago, which really was when my pump was feeling good. Just after the last set of that upper back row, I was like, right, I'm good now. And then after that, it's sort of like dying down. Okay guys, that is session done. Again, so a little bit different today to what the usual. But actually, considering I'm at a different gym, generally I don't get anything from training at a different gym. Hence the reason why I like my routine. But to be fair, it was good. Lost the pump near the end while we were waiting for Big Dog and Grant to finish. But apart from that, we did a little bit of posing afterwards. So I've come to the end of this recovery phase now. We're ready to rock and roll. I do this week. I'm ready to start now, and then we'll start coming out from next week. So in terms of my coach using Nathan, so Nathan Styles, I've been good friends with Nathan now for years. We've trained together, and typically I don't really use friends to coach. Something I struggled with not struggled with, that's the wrong word, but when me and Cuba got close friends, I like to have almost like a master, like a headmaster I need to impress. And I've really tried to do that for the last couple of years. With Jordan was a standout there, with Cuba at first as well, and then Milos obviously. So we're going to use Big Dog for the prep. You pretty much know my body, don't you, Dave?
Yeah, I think it's just important to have somebody, one who you can trust, yeah, and trust to tell you what you need to hear, and be in contact with you daily if needed. You know how fast you potentially can drop off. It's exciting. I'm happy to be a part of it. Jimmy knows his body very well. He's an experienced competitor. It's just sometimes in prep you need the second pair of eyes just to say, are we going in the right direction? So. Yeah,
and somebody to know what my body does.
Yeah.
It's like someone needs to say, I'm going to drop, and then, oh yeah, by the way, from yesterday I've lost 8 pounds. You know, it's like, Nate, even in this short time we've been working together, Nate's already been like, don't eat, actually you might need to eat a little bit more this time, and he can already see the potential to drop off, and I've managed to maintain 260 pounds, which has even shocked me because normally I'd have just been dropping. I'd have been 250 by now, so we've already got that. And we're saying potentially we think Toronto's going to be the show, but it doesn't matter where it is in the world, we'll just turn up. So there's no pressure there, we just etch our way down up until we've got the look that we want. And the goal we just said then is just to turn up on stage. Nothing magic, we don't need any fancy peaks, just turn up full and dry, present what I've got, and then that's proper feedback then, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll obviously come back and check in with Nath every now and then, so we can keep eyes on, and in-person check is always good. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe as always, and peace out.